The regular season record carries through, but they're going to grab Udyr, which we somewhat expected. The Orianna for Teamfight Power Kobe, as you called out.
Yep. Tankish champion for Huni on the front line on top side. Tankish champion there for Spica. Control mage for PoE. His favorite, by the way, the Orianna, the classic PoE Orianna. And Lost and SwordArt on bottom side. They are going, they'll probably have to, I was going to say they're probably going to have to pick without Team Liquid needing to reveal the AD carry just yet. They can lock in both solo lanes here for Team Liquid. They get the Viktor first in answer here for Jensen into the Orianna. Again, similar to like we already saw earlier in this series. Nice little bit of favor there on the Viktor side for the early range there on your laser through the minions, but also your Q so effective for some of these early trades, shrugging off your insubstantial early level Orianna trade damage.
As we saw from this matchup over in the first game, it went towards PoE a bit in the early game, but eventually the big CS lead bloomed for Jensen. He started getting a lot better in the lane. So there was the Jinx span. And TSM thinks first priority with a Thresh is the late game backline. And keep in mind, TSM do not have a dive composition. Renekton can sometimes bring the ball in, but you're not seeing the rel flanks. There's no Nocturne GP over the top. A safe backline to carry is just going to be safe dealing damage, and Jinx is queen of the crop.
I term these types of team fighting comps when you have stuff like Udyr and Renekton as your front line, because they are decently beefy, but they are incredibly flash reliant. If you have flash with this team comp, it's amazing. You can flash that Orianna ball in there. Udyr performs okay with run stun, but way better with run flash
stun. Yeah.
And so that could be a world of a difference, because you can see Team Liquid here just throwing down. As we predicted, they're not going to have to show the AD carry yet. Aphelios is still up, and Aphelios does well with the slower moving front lines that kind of have to walk into him. If you've got a Thresh protecting you, then Udyr and Hecarim's life should be hell. You've got Box going down, Flay going down, and then guess what? Especially if the Aphelios has, Flamethrower, has the Chakrams, like, it becomes difficult to actually close that gap. And you need the flash surprise with your Orianna Shockwave in a lot of cases to make it come true. I would like a Leona lock-in, though, because that adds a lot more threat to the dive. The Leona ultimate can set up your Shockwaves way better, can pin down even the most slippery of AD carries, and hopefully try and get that kill. Rakan provides a very similar thing, but it requires him to risk his own body to do it. So it's definitely more dangerous because you have to go to the other side of the Sion in the team fight to do it, and it's also kind of hard in some situations with Thresh. If the Thresh is well played on his timing, can interrupt you there.
So neither team with reliable backline dive. I think Rakan Kaisa is not enough. It's a bit risky to try to dive in there. So Kaisa isn't going to have that same backline access you would have with, GP and Nocturne helping with those kinds of stuns, Ultimately,
the 1%.
Yeah. So Sion comes through. Team Liquid willing to just say, you know what? Normal front line. No one out-beefs Sion. He is the biggest meatball of them all. Maybe Cho'Gath comes close. Ultimately, though, TL's front line is huge right here. They are tankier. They are more durable. Varus, though, is not the same kind of DPS machine that Kaisa is, so it gets a bit closer once you're actually considering who kills front lines faster.
Varus right now, too, does have both options open of now going the on-hit build or the lethality poke build. I would expect on-hit because you're looking at your overall team comp and you're like, okay, that is a team fight. That is very good scaling. So definitely I expect the on-hit. LPL and LCK had a huge priority on the Varus. We even saw it earlier today in the LEC as well, and I believe that one was an on-hit, so looks to be the case there for Team Liquid. They've got a very standard, hey, this is game 3. You have to beat us so many times, TSM, that first you're going to have to beat us in a front-to-back scaling team fight. We've got Sion, Beef Boy on the front line. We have scaling Viktor, and we get the Varus protected by Thresh on bottom lane. Beat us straight up, or else the series is over.
And we'll see if they can do it. TSM need to win 3 games straight, and that game 4 and 5 will have TL side selection if it even happens. Otherwise, a clean 3-0 sweep, and you can bring out the Clinton tweets because it's going to be relevant for this one. And let's see if they can do it, though. TSM have to come back, have to make the reverse sweep happen, and they're going to need silver scrapes. PowerOfEvil's been to 5 finals and won 0 of them. Will it just continue at 0-5? Will he get a 6th shot? We're going to find out here as we are onto the Rift. TL in the red, TSM on the blue. Who's it going to be as we hit the Rift?
I want to know the numbers on who of the TSM faithful, after throwing a almost 8,000 gold lead, still have faith for the reverse sweep here coming in, because that is a true feat. That is true loyalty if you do.
Yeah, I mean, that is the centipede of comebacks. It is a lot. It's the feat. Okay. Ultimately, I think it depends. I know, I ruined it. I should have stopped where it was. But Kobe, to your point about the faithful, it's any of the TSM fans that came over when Doublelift came from CLG. You hold the faith long enough, and maybe you still believe in the end. Those are the people that we're going to look for to see if TSM can have it happen. But I do believe it. Like, to be clear, I do believe TSM have what it takes. If you take parts of the other games they played, they had at least one full victory among them. They can put those together in one full game and just run it back.
Unfortunately, the only part of the game that matters is when you kill the Nexus.
Yeah.
So let's just skip ahead to 35 minutes then. Honestly, though, right into lane here, immediate advantage for TSM Phreak. They came out of the gate swinging. Ward killed there. They do get the extra experience. Doesn't mean nearly as much for duo lane as it does for solo lanes that can, pop level 2 off of the first wave, but every little bit does count.
Nice auto for CoreJJ. Hits Lost, which is him overstepping a little bit over there on the AD carry. And drop CS occasionally back and forth, but now TL feeling like, yeah, they can walk up. Play is fine. And a pretty good trade of tactical as well. Q comes out for Lost, but he's on the slow. He's ignited, cleanses it. Flash play's not worth it, but look at this. It's SwordArt flashing out as well. And just like that, bot lane is shattered.
Tactical and CoreJJ. Let me remind you of a time far in the past now, the lock-in tournament, Phreak. It seemed like every single game Team Liquid played, CoreJJ and Tactical, were burning summoners or getting 2v2 kills pre-3 minutes. They're returning to form here. They force it onto Lost and SwordArt. Able to force out 3 for 2 in the summoners and get the early level 2 and force him back to base. He's going to lose out on a couple of those melee minions before the cannon even gets into range, and that is painful.
It is painful. Big stun here from Huni. Nice job there. Alphari can't get the shield on in time to block any damage, so a good trade here on the top side. CS lead and more coming. Mana pool's a bit low for the mid laners. We'll see the recalls before too long. And Kobe, you mentioned on-hit Varus was likely. He has gun lethal tempo, so indeed that is the build. You go Comet if you're going lethality. It's pretty easy to land. Even the Q can be hard to dodge the Comet. Obviously, E and R are guaranteed because the crowd control. And hey, they still want to keep fighting. Obviously, Lost without summoners is a pretty easy target. Walk back for Alphari, and once again, yeah, the shield's not going to do anything. And by the way, if Renekton has full Fury, don't pre-shield. He breaks it before the damage, so it's a waste of a cooldown. You have to wait till after you're stunned. It's what makes that matchup sometimes pretty difficult, and it's why Alphari is playing very, very far to the weak side.
Yep, trying to soak up there as Sion. You basically just want to get to your breakpoint. Ooh, double teleport timing there. A little bit funny, but not going to come into anything. You want to get to your breakpoint where you can buy yourself your Bramble Vest and kind of hold on to that. Teleport's ready here for Alphari, level 4 back out there. With the Corrupting Potion, can he bait Huni in for this jungle pressure?
Huni does not knock down the last minion. That would have been the bait, right, is stay for a single caster minion. But they said, hey, we saw Armao was going top side from mid. Armao can go top. That is communication at work. Huni kills as many minions as possible. You saw him burn the W to last hit one. Knows he's not fighting. Goes back in time.
The nice thing about Sion, and one of the many reasons it's picked so frequently as the tank soak for top side, is that even in the more difficult matchups here, with teleport being taken, you can use your teleport around the level 4 mark to reset and get your extra sustain, get your corrupting potion in addition to your biscuits and shield, and then by the time you need the base again to refill and you've taken another beating, you can get level 6 and you can use your ultimate to get back to lane again and not lose out as much pressure.
This is stunnable. Early flash comes in. He's going to be CC'd up for ages. Flash to the safety, but the burn is just too much. And now Armao, he's not going to have this one. Or does he? He finds one. He triumph feels, and he's still trying to heal, but it's still 2 kills to TSM. The first blood saving their life.
They do get the first blood here, and they definitely need that payout, but bad counter kill. Oh!
Flash play, no easy way out. Flash dodges the knockup as well, but they don't quite have the chase down, or do they? This fight's gonna land. Tactical finds one. SwordArt out of cooldown. Slowed again. Played again. Hook's gonna land, and just like that, another 2 kills go over to Team Liquid right on the Tactical.
Oh, the execution buffs that they added to the tap there for Q really pay off. That damage is definitely comes out of left field now still. With all these Varus buffs over the last few patches really racking up. Again, though, this is just dominance now from Team Liquid bottom lane. They blew the summoner spells. Now 2 kills, both of them last hit by Tactical. The adjustments were made, Phreak. Here's the mid lane, though. Jensen thought he was going to get away there, but you saw the last minute switch to Tiger stance for Spica. So he got off his Tiger auto. It's red buff burn in addition to the physical damage bleed from Tiger buff that burn Jensen down even after flashing. He was trying to save it for after the stun. Counter kill, though, and now we're back into more action.
Great Flay, pull back as well. Hecarim's gonna knock him right back into the team. That's another kill on the board for TL. Shotgun on 2 only buys some time. TSM bleeding out now. 800 gold difference, not insurmountable, but not how you want to start a series at 0-2.
The problem is when you have an early game beatdown like we saw here from Team Liquid, this just exudes pressure over the dragon, over your red quadrant jungle. It starts to splash over into your other lanes. Already now, mid lane getting a taste. Top lane is actually heading down here as Huni rotates over to contest the Scuttle Crab, but he's alone. Everybody else is losing in pressure, so bottom lane kind of seeping over towards mid lane means PowerOfEvil, can't come as well. Jungler kind of moves over, and that's going to be the end of that. Team Liquid now should be able to control the rest of this opener. I mean, Alphari already, he's to that level 6 point where we talked about even after he burns through the rest of his corrupting potions through his biscuit, he can use his ultimate to get back if needed and not lose out on any minions. He's rushing towards his Bramble Vest there. You got your double cloth armors very close. And if you have no lead up there for the Renekton, it's just a big difference in front lines, once you get to these team fighting stages.
Everyone who's played bot lane knows this feel where you're like, I am in XP range of a melee at most. That's how I can play this lane. No one to blame themselves here on the TSM side. They misplayed at level 1. They lost a bunch of health. They lost their summoners, and this is their comeuppance as a result of those plays. A 3-0 Varus. I believe he hasn't recalled in a fair bit ever since that 3rd kill. So does have some money to spend. Eventually he'll get his Noon Quiver and keep on going. Yeah, you can see 1,100 gold. Easily Noon Quiver waiting in base for him. Might want to wait till he can get that plus pickaxe. Either way, it's obviously looking very good on the Team Liquid side. 1,000 the gold difference. Again, not insurmountable. But TSM have to bounce back from the fact that they know they are currently losing this game.
This bodes very well for Team Liquid's future expectations. Because looking back to last year, Tactical had just such a good breakout year. Rookie of the year, giant performances in playoffs in these high-pressure games, performed at Worlds even as well, to expectation. And so this year, the one thing most people were really worried about for Team Liquid is a bit of a slump there for him.
Yeah.
Getting picked off a lot in the mid game, some mistakes there in the bottom side of the map, but this sort of confidence and strong performance from the bottom lane here are what they want to see and what they need to see for Tactical to truly be considered one of the next North American greats.
And there's elements of that we even saw this year. They won Lock-in tournament, right? They bested TSM in the overall bracket, and they beat Cloud9 in those finals, largely due to how well Tactical and CoreJJ were playing in the duo lane. In the regular season, it was all Sven and Vulcan, and these two couldn't hold a candle anymore. Tactical, as you were mentioning, kind of was slumping. But if they're back in a lock-in form or back in a last year's form where they were the best duo lane in the league, that's the kind of performance that gets you an LCS title, that sends you to MSI here as the LCS representative. So far, so good against TSM. Duo lane doing well, but of course they can't get ahead of themselves, just like we can't. Armao, getting pushed out of the jungle, will survive this fight from Spica. TL do have to make sure they can cross their T's and dot their I's, make sure this game keeps going their way.
Yeah, he does opt to hold on to the ultimate and just take a bunch of extra damage there from Spica because he's going to go for the reset anyways, just gives up on the Krugs. And he can zoom right back out to this top side lane. So I don't think TSM are going to have a lot of confidence in threatening, for an actual dive there, even though you chase out the jungler. Hecarim moves so quickly off of a reset. Armao could be there. He has Ghost. He also has his ultimate ready. So just a little bit too dangerous for TSM. And all they really get out of it is the Krug steal there for Spica. A little bit of gold back for them.
If they ever get Herald slammed down, of course, it's TSM's who owns it. We'll see if they can turn back some of the plates, because right now 2 plates taken on bot side. Tactical gets some poke, needs 1 auto, and he'll claim plate number 3 in the bottom lane as Sion comes back in. This is the very standard Sion thing. You manage to get your way back into lane. Ult's going to land it really nicely. 42 gold means he got the 3 casters and not the cannon, so sadly missed the primary gold income from that wave. But able to get back without having to burn his TP. Huni's teleport is back up himself, but going to walk to lane and make sure he has TP up for a different play.
Now, this is one of the reasons, Varus saw so much popularity across the world is, a strong opening here to the lane phase. But with this corrupting chains as well, Tactical can do a lot to set his team up. Thresh and Varus, so much CC. Okay, whew, thought we were about to see it on screen, but does not hit that sentence. Armao's going to have to get out of there.
He's going to pop Ghost to run fast. As long as he's not going to get Shockwave, he's okay. And it's not going to catch him. Lantern's there. Good job by CoreJJ to get away. Now, in the mid lane, though, Jensen, he's been mind-controlled again. FaZe checks in and has to burn Flash. Now, CoreJJ with a Flash play. Looks for the hook. Nice sidestep by Lost Snipe, but not killed. So it's going to be TL able to walk out. I think I want to mention before it gets too late in, Huni is going Prowler's Claw on the Renekton. He is going for heavy backline access, trying to one-shot the Viktor or help one-shot the Varus and be the reason that Kaisa can ult in and finish that kill.
I know you're getting flashbacks to game number 1 there, though, Phreak. When you see Jensen walking into the rest of TSM, not paying attention to the spacing here, Tower does take a beating. That last plate is going to get knocked off by the Rift-Tailed. Activation here, and they might even be able to continue with the steal. CoreJJ heading up from bottom side, though.
Yeah, 480 total gold earned from the fact that they got a lot of plates down. Nice charge, well done. 3 plates. But now, it's 140 on the Dragon, and the gold difference, it's shrunk, Kobe. It's down to 600. TSM, for all the flack they've been getting, and somewhat rightly so from the mistakes they've been making, have come back from a travesty of an early game and are edging their way back in gold, and they will be able to fight soon enough.
I will say that gold did not come without a cost. Gold here always needs context, and that gold, as you're referring to, was a big cash-in from the Rift Herald, which they traded for this Dragon. Yeah. And these Rift Herald plays, there's always an opportunity cost to these Rift Herald plays, unless it's literally just the jungler without even a gank getting off from your opponent's side. That time investment, teams have definitely been working on it. They're not bringing up entire bottom lanes, not sacrificing big waves, not sacrificing big objectives for it. But the Dragon is the extra leverage in addition to the extra gold that Team Liquid does have over them. So it's kind of filled in there by the Rift Herald activation. It's up to TSM to make something of it. And Leandries is completed by PowerOfEvil here, by Orianna, and he is on his signature champion. So maybe that is the place to do it. We mentioned multiple times here, delivery, Rakan is a perfect delivery for a Shockwave. Not if he gets hooked in, though, and they're going to be able to retreat, pick up that Scuttle Crab.
Doesn't mean too much. Mid lane, still under a bit of fire, and PowerOfEvil now knows he has teammates to help, and so he's safe to auto-attack mid-turret. Already 4 plates taken out of that one. Entire turret may drop in the mid lane. So far, outstanding. Spike comes in, but Spica hooked in, played on the box, stuns, runs away. Once again, re-engaged. Chain's gonna land though, but with Merc Tread, Spica is out. TPs come in, the fear off on a Huni. He is squishy on Renekton. Shockwave only catches CoreJJ. Huni getting out just to safety. No stun from Alphari, but a low health Renekton will be killed. And now it is a 5v4, which means TL absolutely own this Dragon.
What patience there. Just zoning and waiting for the TP to complete. They chase out the rest of the members of TSM so that when Huni arrives,
Core
3v1.
Didn't know they were brush ganking him, and that's a kill back in. Still a Dragon claim for TL, but 1-for-1 in kills means look at this gold lead, only 300. Buffered by the fact that there's 2 Dragons on Team Liquid.
It does bode well there for TSM that they keep their heads in the game, though. After a loss like that on an objective, still looking for any opportunity to try and get something back. So, yes, you're right. Another kill. It goes to Orianna. That's where they want it. Here's what we're talking about, though. They chunk out Spica just in preparation for waiting for Huni. He gets sucked in there. They even try and use Shockwave to disengage. And it's not able to buy them enough distance. So they finish the completion here for Team Liquid, closing in on the front line. Again, this is a straight up champ select. You have to beat us front to back. So they're able to win out on the front to back war there. Surprise attack though for TSM gets them a little bit of money back.
Knockup Ignite is on. Jensen should die, and PowerOfEvil is able to claim the last hit. And for the first time all game, TSM have themselves a gold lead. And TL now going to have to work back the fact that they've got a deficit. Finding a way to stack the Dragons might be hard without gold.
Yes, sir. The reverse sweep, definitely a possibility. Jensen not having a very good day for himself. TSM continuing to attack there. They actually finish off the turret that was weakened by Rift Herald. Nice opportunity here. You see PowerOfEvil at the top of your screen. The hope of TSM on the Orianna. 4 stacks in his Dark Seal as well. He can throw down even more money, try and upgrade to the Medjais to really make it an all-in on this Orianna. Play around the Orianna. Get those shockwaves delivered. Rakan will have ultimate available. They've got flash on Udyr. Both of those could be good targets.
Looks like Huni's having a hard time winning this fight. Keep in mind, Huni is not built in any way for this 1v1, and he knows that. He's not doing that. And Kobe, to your point, yeah, front to back is not how TSM win these fights. I think Huni is, at first glance, correct in building this way, because you're not winning with the Stride Breaker Renekton hoping you can tank as well as Sion, because you're not. You're winning by Prowler's Claw stunning the Varus and Lost jumping in to finish the kill.
Somebody make me an "Are you winning" son for Huni, and his screen is just showing Alphari's face. Nope, I am not. In no matchup do I win versus Alphari. It has definitely been rough for Huni there. Alphari has just been dominating for Team Liquid. And guess what? He's bringing so much to this team fight. You're mentioning, yeah, look at the build for Huni. He's going Prowler's Claw. He wants to assassinate Jensen or Tactical. With the way that Jensen, has been walking into some teammates, maybe that's a possibility, but it's going to be hard to pull off. Meanwhile, Alphari's job is so much easier to do on the side here with the Sion. Beefy frontliner. He's got his Frostfire completed on top of his Bramble Vest, so it's going to be a big problem there for TSM to try and deal with Alphari if they get to these team fights, if they're trying to fight over objectives. And guess what? Since Team Liquid have been stacking dragons, at some point, you're going to have to. They can try and rely on PowerOfEvil. 3 kills now on him. Does have magic penetration already, rushing towards that as well. So he actually can try and shred through Alphari. He's got the right build for it, the Leandries plus the magic penetration. PowerOfEvil is going to try and take him on.
CoreJJ forced back. Now PowerOfEvil wants in. Maybe a Shockwave can set this one up. Nice sidestep. No, he turned back into it. CoreJJ betrayed himself, and now running the Shockwave late is going to be caught. Flay's not going to be enough. If he just flashed the drop, if he would have lived. Yeah.
That's the new chant. No more TSM. TSM. It's P-O-E. P-O-E. Can he do it for this team? Rift Herald activated on the bottom side of it. 4 kills now on the Orianna. 6 stacks. Upgrade that sucker to a Medjais. Make the hero play. Bjergsen is on stage with them earlier in the suits. Can he coach him to victory here? PowerOfEvil. He's taking the spot. Can they make this comeback?
In the opening of Worlds, PoE basically 1v9 for his team. Back with FlyQuest, back at Worlds. He did so much in the high pressure moments and brought a decent record. And actually okay showing at Worlds for, the low-seeded team. Now PoE up on TSM with the biggest shoes that North America's had in mid lane to fill. Now the head coach behind him, who knows at any point the man could just replace him if he really wanted to. And he's stepping up again when they need it most. To reverse sweep, to make it to the finals, he is 4-0-1. The headmaster, the one leading the charge here to get that victory.
All right, TSM setting up one of the biggest possible comebacks here. They're in the lower bracket already. They ran it in 2020 summer. We're able to make the full comeback. Here, though, they've got a lot of work ahead of them. Early entrance into the river, getting down your control wards. Chip damage onto Alphari is valuable here. If PoE just tags him, gets the Leandries burn ticking on him, gets a little bit of chunk damage, try and put a dent in that Team Liquid front line.
Here we go, walking up for this one. Dragon started TL 2-0 on Drakes. Who's going to grab the third, though? Alphari not finding the stun just yet. They're grouped up.
Zoning.
Huni trying to wait in Fog of War, trying to find that moment to flash or dash or find something, and it's not going to happen. TL stayed posturing, but never did anything about it. Finally knocking down the wave late, but if they committed to killing a turret, they could have killed a turret. And if they committed to a dragon fight, they could have done that, but they do neither, and they get nothing.
Exactly, Phreak. One of the most criticized macro plays is go stare at the enemy objective.
Yes.
You can send, an attempt, a Varus Hail Mary arrow over the top. You saw an attempted steal there from Tactical with the Q, but that's about it. To your point of trying to push somewhere else on the map and get something instead of just staring down your opponents as they take the dragon, that is to TSM's benefit. It seems like with their backs against the walls, these are the moments where TSM can stand up and claw back in some of these situations. They've done it, step 1 so far. Dragon picked up. They put a stop to that Team Liquid march towards Seoul, which would be so devastating, since what Team Liquid wants is for you to come, front to back, straight up, fight them, try and work your way through this Sion, try and get back to my Viktor, back to my on-hit Varus. But PoE, get those chants going, because he is the hope.
He's the hope. Void Staff done. Death Cap halfway done or thereabouts. TL, I feel like in the back of their minds just feel, hey, but we scale them. But we scale. We've still got more gold on the AD carry. We've still got the better front line. It's okay. Low risk, wait for the Baron setup, do that. But the fact they lost the last 5-on-5, essentially, by not being able to fight, you wonder when do they feel like they're going to feel comfortable? How much they're going to bleed out before it happens? Now, in the meantime, TL, good job, knocked down 2 more turrets. Mid's gone, bot's gone. Both teams are going to get the same kill count, the same turret count, and we're back to a nearly tied game, but it's TL down about 1,000 gold.
PoE alone by himself, but only threat being Jensen means it's not too dangerous up there for him. Should be able to finish off that push on the wave. Plenty of control wards for TSM. You see them circling around Baron, trying to keep the vision there. Prediction Q from CoreJJ, thinking Spica was going to dodge forward. Doesn't find anything for them, though. And this is actually very good for TSM. They got to push out topside. It gives Huni some time to get bottom wave moving for them, and then they can get their reset off, replenish their control wards and inventory, and then reestablish control. The Scuttle Crab is coming up by Baron. You want to be there a bit early to be able to snag that one, and they're already trying to use their scryers just to make sure.
Yeah, potential concern. What's also nice about that ward is even if you're not afraid, it is a permanent ward. Yeah, it's easily swept. Sure, it's one auto attack, but this ward lives in perpetuity until TSM cleans it out. And right now, SwordArt's not cleaning out the Baron pit, so fairly low-cost ward for now. Goes for the more aggressive wards to try to own the top jungle because they might set it up, just not yet.
Which type of ward would you like to be, Phreak? Would you like to be a more hardy, oh, it takes 4 hits to kill me?
Yeah.
Or you're very fragile, but you don't die of old age type of ward?
No. I want to be the second control ward. I want to be the rich support who got the ward stone and is like, I'm so decked out, I get 2 of you. And I'm like, yeah. I want to be the second control ward. That's me.
Fair enough. I'll
I'm on the winning team at that point. There's no way I'm not,
Exactly. You got the extra, visual changed over as well.
I get it, twin brother.
All right, well, let's see about this Baron control if it comes to anything for TSM, because they have done a good job of sweeping out that vision. Team Liquid, though, they don't have to rush into anything, and they do have, good opportunities for space checking if they just, pull the trigger and bring Alphari right back over. Scryer's Bloom. Cooldown timer is being traded out here. Now they've got Jensen's available, so they don't really have to risk too much.
All right, Steric's Gauge done for Huni. So he's done with his holy squishy build. He is going to get some durability in team fights. Steric's definitely good at that. As items keep going through, we've got the Last Whisper coming in for tactical. The Armor Pen, obviously very, very powerful, so he can cut through some of the armor that we are seeing out of Spica, who got himself a Randuin's for the extra slows and attack speed dive. Like, Spica wants to pop the slow, wants to lock down that back line. It's still, pushing forward on a theme. Seraph's done for PowerOfEvil, not yet a death cap, actually. I forgot that was the build path, but TL clearly feeling that they can win mid, trying to fight for it, but here comes the backline dive. Look for tactical, he flashes the safety, though. Does not get caught. The re-engage looks pretty good. Spica forces a flash back away. Huni's now in the fight, but again, fairly squishy on Renekton. Only has 1 half-tank item, and TL want to own this bottom river. Half-health Spica, not the best front line. Slowed down, wearing a shield, though. PoE, the part we care about. He's very, very deadly here. 3-item Orianna. TL, do they feel like they can take over the river? They're going to get mid lane. They might play for tier 2. Will they play for the dragon? And right now, the call is, screw it. Dragon's yours. We want a turret instead. A trade of objectives.
Yeah, Alphari doesn't have ultimate anymore, so they're actually going to make an adjustment from the previous objective. This is exactly what we wanted from them, where they push down mid, they trade the dragon for full mid prio, and guess what? That's just not a secondary turret, Phreak. That's opening the door to the base.
This is why you trade objectives and you fight for the mid wave. If TSM had knocked down the wave, there's no counterplay there for TL, but it might have dropped river control. There's a bunch of what ifs. It's the right play for Team Liquid. They had an untouched wave. They rode it into 1,200 gold. Unanswered by TSM as trade for a single mountain drink.
Really like the adjustment here on the fly from Team Liquid. Now, with an open path towards mid, they can get off their reset, and you've got plenty of time. before the next dragon. So they're scaling quite nicely. You saw how TSM had to completely bail out of that team fight. As soon as their attempt at the backline failed, they know if they don't instantly get that engage on tactical, that they're not going to be able to compete frontline to frontline. Once Alphari joined on the Sion, and he was right in the middle of it. So honestly, good peel back for them to be able to get second dragon, but Team Liquid really happy with opening up mid.
So we reset as Team Liquid tie up the gold, TSM tie up the dragon count. Very tight game down between these two. TSM need to win 3 straight to take this series. TL need 1 break, either this game or in an hour with the next one, and maybe beyond that one. But still, the fight for wards continue as Baron is the next objective on the table and really the only thing that can be attacked. Armao pops the haste, can't find a way in, but gets around to the bottom side of the map.
Everybody on Team Liquid should be aware of Tactical's positioning because he is the vulnerable one. No spell shield for him like Jensen has, and no flash available. So he's only relying on CoreJJ to keep him safe and his own positioning. He always has to be aware here of keeping the Sion between him and the engage from TSM. TSM do have flash on Huni, and they do have SwordArt Rakan combination available to try and deliver that shockwave. Both those deliveries are looking for Tactical back there on the Varus. So as he goes up to poke like that, you have to be a little bit cautious each time. And kind of he's sticking his neck out there a little bit close to some of the TSM engage options.
You can see Lost's build is actually single target focused, is doing the Phantom Dancer second, which surprising considering Huni's build is about backline and the Randuin's is about reaching onto the backliner and slowing them down. Lost's build is not about assassination. It's not the collector build, the Gale Force collector that we see so frequently from that kind of build. So some desyncs in the build pathing here. Although, also of note, kind of looking at the bottom side, you can kind of see where both teams are focusing their resources. At this point in the game, these skilled players, you don't drop CS for free. PoE has been given priority on the lanes. He has 40 CS over Lost because he's the one being given the farm. The opposite true on TL side. Tactical is given priority to get farm, and Jensen is getting the table scraps.
PoE, definitely the centerpiece for TSM's comeback run. See if we can get a little bit of headway here, though. Team Liquid happy to scale up until the Dragon Timer once again. This time around, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for TSM, considering they do have exposed inhibitor towards mid. And even if they pin Team Liquid inside the base, if Team Liquid decide to make a hard push for it, all that TL have to do is have Alphari rotate to the back of their team fight, and all of a sudden, it's not really TL that are caught. It's another front to the back team fight that they're actually looking for. So approaching level 16 here on the Team Liquid solo laners. PowerOfEvil has gotten it because of all that farm you talked about being funneled into him. This Baron attempt is not sniffed out quite yet for Team Liquid. They have a bit of time because Kaisa's not there, so it's going down a little bit slower.
He doesn't even think it's happening. He could just control ward right now. He doesn't even think it's a possibility. He's just chilling, and it's just going to get taken. They have no vision at all. Starts the charge. Oh, he comes in. It's smited away. Spica grabs it. I'm not sure how they knew, but the timing was perfect. Blue Trigger might have come down at the last second. Still, well done to Spica. Claims it.
Yep, the Team Liquid, they use both scryers there. Armao attempting steal, but that is so big for TSM. Baron awarded now, pre-Dragon as well, so they can get their Baron-empowered recalls off, reset before the Dragon, then try and push out and into the Team Liquid vision.
Death Rush. Jensen's baiting. No, they're not going to go with the Death Rush. They're not going to look for a play, but against Baron buff, and honestly, the fact that recalls, I think, came through enough that items came into inventories, it's going to be so hard to fight for this wave.
They're going to do it, though. Moving on up into it. Lost able to get away from the Sion Q.
Trading back and forth. Obviously, the TSM minions are tankier. Lost just being given the farm here. Flash! Shockwave on it, too! And they have shot down Tactical! Knockback means almost nothing. The drift goes a little bit far, but the re-engage on the backline nearly finds second kill. Just the one is enough, though. TSM get one, and they're going to get the Dragon.
Oh, we cursed him, Phreak! Tactical's positioning when looking for the Q poke with Varus. He walks up into the engage range. Flash! No hesitation from Spica. They hit him with that combo. The Udyr flash into Shockwave. TSM, they strike. They take down Tactical. They take down the Dragon. You have to be more cognizant with your positioning. He moves up, even for a greedy auto. It's more than just the Q there. The extra auto, immediately punished. That is such good movement from Spica, no hesitation. He does not let this ego movement from the AD carry. Tactical cannot step up into flash range. It is just an Udyr, by the way. It's just normal flash range there. And you immediately get shockwaved after. If you let that happen, you deserve to go down. Team Liquid, now not only do they lose the Baron to TSM's sneak attempt there, also setting up TSM for Dragon Soul Point. This comeback in the making for TSM, Phreak, they are really making the fans sweat, but it's working with their backs against the walls. Now all objectives going their favor.
Every single one now in a row. Baron, the Dragons, 3 straight in that regard. And as items come through, a stone plate for Alphari. The man needs a mind control helmet. Keep your backline in the back. You need that one instead. He's plenty tanky. Looks for the play. Shotgun catches those two, and it means there's no real re-engage. Armao not going to go in for that one. So we just chill. And that turret likely to fall. The cannon's going to get some pot shots in. And you can see bot lane now also under fire. TSM getting pushed in all 3 lanes. Nice ult, good damage. Hook's going to land, very nicely played. They also catch in Lost. A flash to safety. Tactical finds the 2nd kill. Finally gets the good play. Takes down the dual lane of TSM.
Redemption for Tactical almost immediately. Chains of Corruption into full CC combo with Thresh, plus flashes away, doesn't give away the counter kill, takes in the extra Kaisa aggression, and this sets them up for a power play.
Has to respect the shockwave coming up in a couple of seconds there, but still wants to push back Spica, find the CC, but honestly can't do enough damage. TP's coming across. But with Dissonance, so much move speed for TSM, they're likely always safe. Sion over the top, shockwave on a 2, but it means they have caught out the Udyr, and that man can only run for his life. Ulti's coming down. They're putting a lot of damage onto him.
Open up the gates!
2.5 minutes till any objective is up. It's not like he's going to play for anything. It's okay to burn the cooldowns, and Team Liquid answer 3 kills in a row with nothing back.
Ooh, all right, Phreak. Everything's on fire at the moment. Yep, let's take another look back at it. This was all set up by Tactical. Nice chain of corruption into CC combo there with CoreJJ. Tactical also flashes away, draws in Kaisa. Lost, giving over the extra kill here, allows Team Liquid the response. Everything is not out the window for them. Yes, they lost the Baron. Yes, they lost the Dragon Soul Point, but they still have another attempt at it. And they have a great team fight to do with it if they just have some standard positioning. And they keep him behind the front line. Alphari should be the guy with his head out. Alphari should be the one happy to face tank for them.
0-0 and 2. Very big front line, 290 CS. Phreak claims it. CoreJJ grabs the vision. Now it's a gold swing, but the vision's not going to matter. It's still 2 minutes till the dragon respawns. Unlikely that River's going to matter up until that point, at least not at that time frame, but obviously good to see it. Team Liquid, though, still fighting back a 3,000 gold deficit. They are not out of the woods here.
They definitely are not. TSM looking to push this one. We got the Medjai's upgrade, Phreak. PoE did it. He's got 5 kills, 8 stacks on his Medjai's.
He's full build.
Full build done at 33.5 minutes for PoE. Well, not quite full yet. Needs a couple more pages. At least 2 more to get your bonus. And finish that off, but this is going to be peak Shockwave performance, and we already saw so many good delivery, assistance here for him. Udyr can flash it, but even if that's not up, they've got flash on Huni. They have SwordArt as well, who both are going to be looking for Tactical, looking for Jensen in the back line.
840 ability power on PowerOfEvil. That is a lot of damage. That's going to be a lot of punishment. Obviously, he can keep growing. The Medjai's can add to that one. It can detract. If he dies, he's probably selling it and going for something else, but wait to see, maybe a Cosmic Drive. Regardless, we've got 40 seconds now. Mountain Soul on the table for TSM, and their smites have been better. Spica has been the smite masterclass player so far in playoffs. Can TL wrest control? Spica's mana pool is not very relevant, takes a bit of damage, doesn't matter. He is a very tanky man.
Not a scratch on Alphari.
Nope.
That is a beefy boy. I love Stoneplate too. It's
Armao's on the flank. Where is he going to find? PowerOfEvil not going to get feared up, and he can't get any meaningful targets. In the back line goes Huni, trying to kill one, and they're going to look for the second one. Already two are dead. TSM take the team fight. The shockwave for 4.
They did it!
Alphari, guess what? He is no longer untouched. It doesn't matter how much health you have if your teammates have none left. The Bud Light Ace for TSM, and at 35 minutes, they may have just won their first game of this series.
TSM, they've done it! The team fight, a clean ace! PowerOfEvil 8-0 Orianna, 24 stacks on that match eyes, and the TSM reverse sweep attempt starts here.
They finally put together both points of a complete game. A rough start in the bottom lane, but excellence elsewhere, and they carried it through. PowerOfEvil had the supporting staff to find the team fights and find the nexus and find TSM's first win of the series.
Ooh, all right. TSM still have some fight left in them. Looks like Spica took a hit there as well. Maybe got excited during the celebration, but they've got to refocus. Every game must win for TSM.
Yes.
Good execution here. Solid play through the mid-game to be able to take these objectives. They force Team Liquid to do something here. You know, stepping up on these dragons. Yes, TL do make the push, through mid, taking those, mid towers. But then TSM, right back at them. They force on Baron. They get the Baron. Then on the dragon as well. And really, good attention to detail there as they just jump right on Tactical, overstepping his bounds in the mid lane there.
Right.
Big punish by TSM, and they are very happy to still be in this.
As much as this game was PowerOfEvil's, the man on your screen right there, he had the game in his sights, so had Tactical. 3-0 start on the Varus, 4 turret plates, most gold in the game, and he repeatedly threw it away, failed to get himself into team fights appropriately in TO when they had gold leads, where they had team fight advantage, bled objectives, and bled team fights. They have to clean this kind of stuff up. They've got 2 more chances, sure, but it was not a good look to see your Fed carry, former Rookie of the Year, back to those old losing ways.
Ow!
It's true, though. It's true, though.
Definitely agree, man. Stepping up, getting hit with that bear slap into Shockwave. Did come back out with it, had some good chains of corruptions. But again, refocus here. Team Liquid, they have 2 more chances to do it right here, and they really want their revenge on Cloud9. You can't overlook TSM, though. Got to clean it up. Got to finish out the series.
All right, well, the TSM Empire strike back, and their fans get a new hope. They've got themselves on the board, and we've got a series on our hands. You have to say it every time going into Game 4. When we return, the State Farm analysts will be breaking down that win. We'll see you there.